What's up, Santa Barbara, and welcome to another race. Actually, the first race of this year. We have the Dos Pueblos Chargers versus the Santa Barbara Dons. Two phenomenal teams. I think it's going to be a really good race today. In lead, I can't really tell who's in lead, but I'm going to go with Logan Beckstrand. Possibly Drew Delosier in there too. They're just about halfway done with their first lap around the track. They'll be doing 2 laps around the track, and then going into the back half. So we see Orlando Yee in the middle of the pack, it looks like, along with Dylan Richardson. Dylan Richardson at a previous time of 18:34 last year. So let's see if he can beat that today. And that was the CIF finals last year. Those Pueblos did make it. I don't think Santa Barbara did. So we'll see how these teams match up. And in the lead, we have Logan Beckstrand, Dylan Richardson second, and Lucci in third. Now, what I'm really interested to see is if Dylan Richardson can have the clutch factor that he did last year. He won a tied game. Normally, we only count the top 5 for points, but they tied, so Dylan Richardson had to be the tiebreaker as our 6th runner. So, I wonder if he can do that again, if it even comes down to that. And Logan takes a pretty healthy lead, it looks like. Dylan falling just 1 place back. Okay, and now they're exiting. They're on the final stretch of the track portion of this meet. They should be going into mile 2 fairly soon here. They're about halfway done with mile 1. And Lucci looks like he's in second, with the Santa Barbara runner in third. Not sure the name of that guy. Okay, and now they're officially going into the back half. They finished the track portion. This should get more interesting now. As you can see here, mile 1 is about to end. Okay, and they're going through, yeah. Okay, Logan in the lead, but followed close behind by a big pack of athletes. DP bringing up the rear here. Let's see if they can change that. Maybe go a little bit faster. Just go faster, right? No, okay. And mile 2 is just about to start. Yeah. They should be starting mile 2 within, I don't know, 30 seconds maybe? It looks like they're on pace for a pretty good race. Ours. Now let's go through a little bit of the roster here. So for Dos Pueblos, we have Logan Beckstrand. Last year he got a 16:07 at the CIF finals. We have Orlando Yee with a 17:12. We have Alex Hellman with a 18:08, and Dylan Richardson with 18:34. And for Santa Barbara, we have Drew DeLozier with mid-17s, Amir Watson and Xantosas with mid-17s as well, and Colton McTolridge with about 18. Okay, and now we can see them. We can see them coming up. Who's in lead? It looks like still Logan with Lucci and Orlando not far behind, along with a pack of Santa Barbara athletes. Edward in there too. Okay. And now we're approaching where the finish line will be. It's not here yet, but after they finish, the finish line will be on that field right there, you see. And yeah. Okay, SB pulling ahead. 2 SB guys ahead and 1 in the middle of 3 other Dos Pueblos. And SB bringing up, oh, never mind. Yeah, SB bringing up the rear. Again, I take it back. Dos Pueblos bringing up the rear. And as you can see, this beautiful course, it must be so amazing to run on this course. With the mountains in the background, all the trees around you, it's just really nice. And I think even if your team doesn't win, you know, it's still a really good experience. Especially with all the twists and turns of this course. There's a lot of hills too. And they should be approaching the halfway point of mile 2 here. Should be getting about to the softball fields. And even looping back around to meet the finish line, except they're not finishing yet. They're going into mile 3. Through, looks like maybe Bennett and another SB athlete. I'm just looking at the course right now, and it looks like they're at about the almost the second mile. So we'll see stuff really start to heat up here as they enter the third. This is where the race is decided, really. Who can make it past that 2/3 point. So you still got a lot of ways to go, but you've been running for a while too. So this is the hardest point of the race for me, at least. we should see them coming up here pretty soon. A couple runners passing by. Yeah, so now they're officially into the 3rd mile. So here we're gonna really start. We're gonna really see it start to heat up. We got Orlando in here. It does look like SB is in the lead, though, as far as I can see. This certainly is an interesting race. Not quite what was expected, but definitely fun. Yeah, SB is in the lead with 3 Dos Pueblos athletes hot on his trail. And a 4th one coming up pretty close. Now, the expected winner for this race was Dos Pueblos because they placed significantly higher than Santa Barbara last year. If any of you remember that, they made it to the finals and went to some state races, and it was really cool. And so they're expected to win, but who knows? Santa Barbara could pull out a wild card and take the dub. Really cannot predict anything with cross-country races. It's all about training, just however many hours you put in. So whichever team has been putting in more work is going to win. And they're about 1/3 of the way through mile 3 now. As you can see, they're probably in the forest. The back half forest, of course. So what we're looking for is for all the athletes to break their previous times. What really matters here is that everyone gets better. It doesn't really matter, who wins, but if everyone's improving, then that's great. So I think a good portion of athletes will beat their previous times, even with the unusual circumstances that we have, being unable to practice fully in person for most of the season. Still not actually ever being able to fully practice in person, but there were at least some in-person workouts. And SB leading the pack with another SB athlete pretty far behind, and then Dos Pueblos with Lucci in 3rd, it looks like. And it does look like a sea of white and green right now, with just a tiny bit of blue in there. Santa Barbara Don's doing very well in this first race of the season. Speaking of first race of the season, this is the first race / match / game of any sport in Santa Barbara for Dos Pueblos or Santa Barbara High. This is their first sporting event since March, which is going to be it certainly is momentous, at least. They should be approaching the finish line here, so I hope we got a camera over there to see what's happening. Yeah, this has definitely been a hard race. So yeah, if we did have a camera over there, now would be a great time to switch to it. I'm not sure if we do, but if we did, and yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of great footage there. Okay. And SB is taking the lead with their first athlete almost finished. Not sure the name on him, but we'll have to make sure to get that after. And it looks like another SB athlete. SB runners look like they've been training a lot. This does not bode well for DP. Yeah, SB coming in, and the first has finished. The second almost there. So close. And the second has finished. And Dos Pueblos first athlete finished. Lucci. Santa Barbara is just sweeping the board though. Only one Dos Pueblos athlete in. Oh, here comes our second. Orlando. Just sprinting into the finish line. That's what we like to see. And I'm not sure who that is, but another Dos Pueblos athlete. Dylan Richardson coming in. And another SB athlete finishing just now. This race has pretty much been decided, but we'll have to see the rest of this. Okay. Oh, and what's going to happen here? It looks like a race for the finish line. But DP wins that small race. Santa Barbara's still getting in close behind, not making that big of a difference. Only a few more athletes left to finish. And we're possibly done. Well, that was the boys varsity 5K race. Really a hard one there. We'll have to see the results, but if I had to say what I would guess, it's probably Santa Barbara who's going to take this win. Yeah, just a sea of white and green. Final runner coming in at 2017. That race did not go as expected. The favorite team, Dos Pueblos, did not win that. Actually, can't say yet, but almost 100% sure. Like 98. an overwhelming amount of SB athletes here. Oh, never mind. They didn't start. They're just doing strides. And the race is off. We have the junior varsity boys race with about 10 JV Santa Barbara and about 4 is Pueblos High School. So we'll see how this goes. and they're just starting off. They're 2 laps around the track, so this really is the beginning of the race here. We can see they're all about in the pack. Santa Barbara in the lead, though. My favorite athlete on this team, the legendary Konar, is in this race. I think he's really good. He really puts in a lot of work, a lot of spirit, and I hope he wins. But you know, Santa Barbara, it looks like they're pulling ahead. So with 5 Santa Barbara before even 1 Dos Pueblos athlete, and that's just about to change to 6. Finishing their first lap around the track, about a quarter done with the first mile. We'll see the standings here. Overwhelmingly Santa Barbara. Santa Barbara has 6 in the lead, and Dos Pueblos, the first athlete, is 7th. So let's see how this goes. Santa Barbara getting a pretty healthy lead with their first runner, pretty far up. Now, although this is the first sporting event of the year, many more will follow after this, with football planning to resume. Full contact football planning to resume during COVID-19. Very interesting. So we'll see plenty more games, and you might hear my voice too. Santa Barbara has officially taken a very healthy lead. I mean, of course it can be made up over the 20-ish minutes that will be run here, but still looking very good. And they're coming out of the track laps into the dirt and back half. So we'll see how this goes. On the board, they'll go down a straight and kind of into a circle to reach the first mile marker, which will be the first big point of the race, and we'll see the standings then. We have a wonderful cameraman, Chris Pagliaro, on the scene. And of course, capturing it perfectly, as always. The first runner is approaching the turn, not quite the mile 1 yet. They have to go around a circle first. I can see someone pointing that out. Santa Barbara still with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at least. Santa Barbara with the first 6. And Dos Pueblos' first athlete's coming in. And we can't forget about the legendary Konar, who will be coming up here soon. There he is, Konar running past. And Dos Pueblos holding up the pack with the final athlete going past. So they'll be coming through the mile 1 marker very soon. Some of the lead Santa Barbara runners should be coming up within 20 seconds to make that the first mile marker. And from there, they'll do a lot of loops around the back half. Here we go. Here he is. He's coming in and officially past mile 1. Now, I ran cross country at one point back in my day, and this hill is a lot steeper than you think it is. From this camera angle, it doesn't look that steep. But this hill is, it's really a killer if you don't plan for hills, if you don't train. Of course, everyone trains, but to a varying degree. So if you're not training for hills, that hill, it's really going to hurt you. Of course, Dos Pueblos has the home team advantage, being they know this course, they know this hill, and they know how it works. So, Dos Pueblos coming in, and that looks like Konar to me. Konar coming through. Yeah. And we have another pack of athletes here. Looks like 2 Santa Barbara and 1 Dos Pueblos. Will the Dos Pueblos make it through? No. Not for the 1 mile marker, at least. And now everyone is in the 2nd mile. So it's starting to heat up. It won't heat up fully until the 3rd mile. But now the pain starts to set in, and it really gets difficult to keep pushing through here. They're passing about halfway through mile 2 now. They'll be coming back around here to finish it off. But, yep, there's Konar again. Of course, star athlete of the JV team. And the last pack of athletes, and it looks like SB is in the last. Damn. Alright, now let's have a look at the map here. So they just passed, as you see where the finish is? Yeah, so that, around where that is on that purple line, where that sharp turn is, they just passed that. So they have to go all the way through the back half again, and back up to there, well, they will complete the 2nd mile. And that's where the race is going to get very intense, and a lot of stuff will change. Of course, with JV, it's a little harder to know where stuff will change. Not as predictable. But it can still get very heated in the 3rd mile. And here's the lead SB runner coming through. And it looks like Dos Pueblos is not far behind. With a couple people. Nope, just one. Okay. And then the rest of SB is still there, as always. We got a lot of SB athletes here. Of course, Dos Pueblos has had a disadvantage with only four athletes in their JV category. I have little experience with that. A lot of them moved over to track, including myself. So, yeah. Dos Pueblos definitely at a disadvantage here. And the second DP athlete coming through, of course, our very own Javi.
Got it.
Okay. So now they're coming around the back half and on to the final stretch of mile 2. Konar just passed us, and Dos Pueblos is back in the back, if you know what I mean. Back on the map, we see we can see the mile 2 again. They're really almost there now. There should be some athletes approaching it. Yeah. They're getting very close. Here we go. Mile 2 now. Looks like the first SB runner is coming through. And we got a couple more behind him. Looks like one SB, one DP, and another SB behind them. Not looking great for DP. Almost assuredly a loss, but who knows? Maybe they can pull something out. I would not be surprised. There was a very big clutch factor last year. I already talked about it, but Dylan Richardson, he really clutched up and beat San Marcos. So let's see if they have that same thing here. Okay, and now in mile 3, the first runner to go around that bend. Now about to come up a hill, and one of the biggest hills that is on this course. There's really only 2 hills. Two steep incline hills, and they're approaching one of them now. And everyone's favorite thing, gravel. Actually, not everyone's favorite thing. Maybe one of the worst materials for everything. They're now approaching. Mix of SP and DP athletes in the middle here. But really, that's not what's important. What's important is those leading 3 positions, 1, 2, and 3. Those really decide the race. And looks like one more group will come through. Another SB athlete coming through. And you may notice they're not wearing masks right now, but according to the rules, they do not have to during a race because that's just as dangerous to them. If they can't breathe, they really can't do anything. So during an intense race like this out in the heat, they just gotta bring them down. Of course, right after, right before, they're always on. And Javi, very own Javi, running through again. And of course, the fan favorite, Konar, coming through just behind SB athlete. I really hope he can make it past him. And here we see the ground Really interesting how the ground looks this time of year. Very light brown. Plenty of gravel, which not great, but yeah, and some grass. Even tractor treads. Oh, that's a car. And here's the map. Here we go. So they're probably about halfway through mile 3. So really, we're getting up to the wire here. If I'm on the course right now, I'm thinking, how can I pass that person in front of me? And I'm sure everyone is. That's really what you need to do in these kind of races, where, especially as Dos Pueblos, there's not a lot of people, and so you gotta just, pass the guy in front of you and get points for your team. The first Santa Barbara athlete coming through, as always, going fast. Almost at the finish. Only 1/3 of a mile left. Final stretch, I would say. Plenty of SB, couple of Dos Pueblos. What I'm really looking to see is if Konar passed that SB athlete. That's what we're really looking for here. And here's an SB athlete coming through. Looks like the end of the pack. Although I'm sure there's more. Yeah, there's gotta be more. Oh, I see someone in the distance. Just a faint shadow. There they are. Let's see. Did Konar pass as the SB athlete? Not looking great. Oh, never mind. This isn't him. But we're really getting into the intense part of the race. So, we're almost at the finish here. Yeah, and here we can see the finish line. First athlete approaching. The first runner to make it here in the in the JV boys race will be a Santa Barbara athlete with about 18:30 on the clock, and it's cut to me. Yeah, and so here we go. Here he is, coming through and almost at the finish. Just power through, man. You got this. Yeah, 18:50. Hey, that's faster than I can run. A second SB athlete. Very powerful. Very powerful in his finish. Making it all the way through the line, and they are done. 19:27. Really a good time, especially without being able to practice properly. Oh, yeah, here we go. And DP gets passed up at the last second. Oh, can they pass him back? Not looking like it. 1950 for both of those. Only a couple more athletes to finish. Maybe like 4 or 5. Actually, I take it back. I take it back. There's more than that. And with about a 20:45, who are we seeing come up here? And it is another SB athlete with 20:50 passing the finish line. Here we go. Bringing up the end of the pack. Let's see who we have. 1 SB and 1 DP, it looks like. Who is this? This is Javi coming in with 21:25. Great time, great time. Love to see it. And SB, it looks like there's a fight for the last place. Who's gonna win that? Between Konar, the star athlete. Konar bringing up the lead with 21:54. Great race. Really interesting to watch. Especially because we haven't had any other sports. So, love to see the competition out here today. That was the JV boys race. Wait. Is there one more? Is there one more? Maybe. Who knows? I mean, probably someone. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay. Well, thanks for watching the JV boys race. We'll go into varsity girls soon here. Yeah. And the race is off. The varsity girls race starting off with a bang and choppy video. I apologize for that. We had some technical difficulties out in the field. But yeah, we can see a couple still frames of them running. Looks more like a PowerPoint, but very cool. In the lead, I can't really tell, but it looks like Santa Barbara's taking the lead. Not sure who's up there, but certainly Santa Barbara. Here we go. Here's some better video. It looks like I'm mistaken. That looks like Dos Pueblos. Yeah, Dos Pueblos in the lead. Santa Barbara not far behind, and then again Dos Pueblos. But it looks like for the most part, Dos Pueblos is at the front of the pack. Looking great compared to the other two races. And they're just finishing their first lap. They'll be doing 2 laps around the track as always. Same race as before. These places are in no way final, so these are going to change a lot over the course of the race. Yeah. So on the Dos Pueblos side of things, we have Phoebe Wolf-Lyons with her time last year as 1904. We have Ella Kenley, Ellie Gleason, Katie Hellman, London Wahlberg, and Sarah Dent. So we'll see how things turn out here. But we're looking to have them be in the front of the pack. And it looks like everyone finished the first lap. Now on to the second lap on the track. Now, if you aren't aware, this track was redone recently. Within the past 3 years, they redid this track, and it was really sad. Last year, there was no track season on the brand new track. We had practices for a while, but you know, it just never happened. So this is, I think, the first race on the track. Now, don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure. Just in, Sophie Sela is also a runner, a freshman, on the varsity team. So she's the only non-returner, which it'll be interesting to see how she stacks up against the competition. Most people finishing up their second lap here and going into the back half soon. Okay, the final people coming through. And we'll see him go. We'll see him finish up the mile 1 here pretty soon. Yeah, great performance so far. And here we switch to the map. They just finished those track laps, so they have about half a mile to go. But some of them are already, I don't know, probably around the 1 mile marker. Yeah, here we go. They're going into that loop that they have to make before they hit that 1 mile marker, but they are here. Santa Barbara, a group right here with, oh, it looks like Sarah Dent in there as well. And a wave to the camera. Nice. that was Katie Hellman that just passed. And here's the finishing group. Looks like 2 Santa Barbara, 1 Dos Pueblos runner. Looking great. Now, the lead runner should be just finishing mile 1. And as soon as they go into mile 2, again, like all the other races, it'll start to heat up here. The real race starts now. And here we go. Yeah, just finishing mile 1. Don's in the lead. Dos Pueblos not far behind. Up this hill, that's a really big problem for a lot of teams. They look like they're handling it pretty well. Moving those feet quick and getting up the hill. Bringing up the end, we got 2 Dos Pueblos and 2 Santa Barbara. Santa Barbara in the end though. And that's everyone past the first mile marker. They should be maybe a quarter done with mile 2. As you can see on the map, they're probably at about, I don't know, around the finish line area in mile 2. So that's the purple line. And we'll see him go across a pretty straight area and go into a downhill, which will be nice. A downhill onto gravel, you know, not great. Gravel kind of sucks. But then they go into the forest. It's covered, you know. There's a couple of mini hills in there. Not much though. Should be a fun place to run. And here they are, just as I thought, at about the finish line area. Some of the faster runners. Everyone's on the baseball field now, so should be getting through that pretty fast. Now they're about a third of the way done with mile 2. And Coach Nash actually running as well. Not expected on the roster, but who knows? They can always add a coach in. Now this race is very spread out. There's people at the finish line. There's people probably very far at this point, maybe even down the hill onto the gravel now. So very spread out, I would say. Here we are, last people approaching the baseball field. Doing great. It's really been hard to train this season, just with everything going on. You can't be in person, you can't practice as a group, you just gotta train by yourself. And it's really hard to pace yourself and know how fast you should go when it's just you and you don't have anything to compare yourself to. So the fact that people are even out here racing right now is pretty cool, I would say. There's some grass. Okay, now they're coming around the around where the 1 mile marker is, going down into a downhill here, and they'll come back up that hill that I said was hard earlier. So we'll see how this goes for them. But yeah, they're almost done with mile 2. Only about a third left. It's making good progress. Once you're done with mile 2, again, I've said this before and I'll say it again. That's where it really starts to get intense. Where things start speeding up, and if you're really good, that's where you go your fastest. Coach Nash on the field, really helping those athletes out, and if it weren't for the coaches, none of this would have happened. So remember to thank your coaches. It's really hard to be a coach in the pandemic, but they're trying their best. It might not be the greatest, but it's definitely more than nothing, and that's all we need right now. So yeah, a couple more Dos Pueblos runners running past. And on the map, if you look at the mile marker, the first mile marker, that's about where they are, except they're on the purple path. So they're just about to go down a straight, turn a corner, and get to that mile 2 marker. So we'll see people speeding up here. And then they have to go into a really steep hill and a really steep downhill, which you might not think is a problem, but I've run it, and it's less fun than you think. Here we go. And coming around the fence, around that bend, almost at the mile 2. Looks like Santa Barbara's in the lead. Dos Pueblos not far behind, though. Definitely still winnable. Dos Pueblos coming around the corner. More runners making it through. And Santa Barbara in the lead at the mile 2 marker. So they're officially past mile 2 now. The first athletes are making it past. More runners passing by. About half of the runners are at the mile 2 marker now. Doing great. And we should be in the final stretch now. We're in the last third of the race, where it really gets tough. And you just gotta hunker down and just do it, you know? And 2 more Dos Pueblos and 1 more Santa Barbara coming through. Nash on the field. And here we have the map again. Yeah, they're gonna go up a hill. This is it's gonna be tough. It's pretty hot out too. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. I'm sure a lot of water will be wanted after this race. And sorry for that cut to black for a second. Technical difficulties, you know how it is. Everything online now. We got some cameras in the field. It's not, yeah. There's some Wi-Fi issues. We're doing good. And here we go. We now see black. Camera's cutting out. Oh, it's back. It's back. This is good. Okay, so there's some dirt there. Okay. Now we're back to me. Let's see. So they should be about, I don't know, maybe a quarter, maybe a third done with the third mile. Not really sure here, but that hill, they're either approaching or on that hill right now. And I am, of course, wrong. They're way past that. They are actually near to the 1 mile marker, that was very fast. Wow, a lot faster than I thought. That's cool though. Looks like some Dos Pueblos in the lead. Maybe Santa Barbara actually. I think I didn't see the first part of that. Yeah. Okay. So they're about that little loop in the bottom right of the course. And hey, it's the final stretch. They're almost done. This is really where it gets decided. Here we go. More Dos Pueblos athletes coming through. With Nash on the course again. Always on the course. Looks like another Santa Barbara athlete coming through. Maybe someone having a little problems on the course. Looks like somebody is falling over. Okay. And we're almost at the finish here. We got a Santa Barbara athlete that just passed. On the final stretch here. This is really the final stretch. The home stretch, if you will. The final hour. The ending extravaganza. Here we go. Here's some Dos Pueblos coming in. Almost done. Everybody's doing a great job here. Now, it looks like some people may have already crossed the finish line. Not really sure. And we're tracking one of the Dos Pueblos athletes. I can't tell if they're in the lead or if somebody already finished. Well, either way, this has certainly been an intense race with plenty of switch-ups. And Santa Barbara coming down that straight. The finish line, it looks like Dos Pueblos is finishing right now with 19:56.5. Santa Barbara also coming across the finish line soon. Doing great. Yeah, 2014. Hey, I remember 2014. That's besides the point. Here we go. That looks like Phoebe. And she's almost finished with 20, 40, 8, 2048, 5. Great job. And as this is more of a spread out race, we'll have to see a lot of athletes come to his finish line. It's going to be exciting. And it looks like another Dos Pueblos athlete coming in. Let's see if we can get that time. And 21, 22. 22.5. It looks like a Santa Barbara runner on their way. Yeah. Here we go. Finishing it off. Really a powerful finish. 21, 21.45. And another Dos Pueblos just sprinting the end here. Love to see it. Love to see it. Let's see if we can get a time on that finish. And 22, 22.09, 22.08, something like that. And another Santa Barbara, 2 more Santa Barbara coming up. 22, 22.20, and 22, 27, 22.27. Here we go. Looks like Katie Hellman. Great finish. And 22.51. 22.51. Almost done with the race, it seems. Maybe a couple more runners. Another Santa Barbara runner coming down the home stretch. Here we go. What will she get? Looks like it's going to be 24. 24.04? 24.05. And that may be it. We'll see here. Not seeing anyone else. Well, that's looking like it. Maybe, oh, one more runner. Just as we're about to end. Here we go. Oh, two more. A race. This is intense. Who will win it? Both from Santa Barbara, it seems. Doesn't really matter who wins, but yeah, we have our winner. 25-31 and 25-34. Great performances. Everyone who came out today. And that was it for the Varsity Girls Dos Pueblos and Santa Barbara dual meet. You're back. Just kidding, we're back. There's more. A little bit of a premature call by me. Sorry about that. Looks like we have some more runners, though. Here we go. Looking like it's going to be in the 29s. 29... Maybe 29:05, maybe? $29.03, somewhere in that range. 29. Oh, 29:09. Great finish. Yeah, nice day out. A lot of blue sky. I don't actually see a cloud. Great place to run. You see the mountains. Yeah. Okay, another runner coming through. You can see on the back middle of the shot. You can see him coming up the flagged area now. time is looking like it's going to be 30-20... 30-23. Nope. 30-20... 30-26. Good job, good job. And now that's the end of the race. Yeah. Have a great day. Hope you all enjoyed watching this. And if you came out to it, hope you had a great time. Great performances by everyone. But that closes the Dos Pueblos and Santa Barbara dual meet.